I think, happy Tuesday. It's December 2nd. I think the two most consistent characteristics or hallmarks of the Trump administration are pretty clearly malevolence and incompetence. Evil intent just across the board in every single thing that they're doing, but coupled with to me, still almost a year in, astonishing level of just total incompetence in everything that they're doing. I mean, we saw it last week, the culmination of the appointment of Lindseay Halligan as the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. She was appointed illegally. A judge determined that she had been appointed illegally and had been serving in that position illegally. That resulted in the criminal cases against James Comey and Letitia James being thrown out. Just yesterday, another federal judge determined that Trump's parking garage attorney, Alina Habba, who had been appointed as U.S. Attorney in New Jersey, was also appointed illegally. And that's going to result in a bunch of cases getting thrown out. And, and it's just like, I just saw a news report this morning that Jared Kushner and Steve Witoff, two real estate developers, are meeting with Vladimir Putin to try to resolve the war in Ukraine. The Wall Street Journal reported over the last few days that those two guys are basically approaching this negotiation to end the war in Ukraine as a way to set up business deals that will personally benefit them and their families. Steve Witoff is a real estate developer. One or two of his sons are also currently partnering with Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump in some of their crypto ventures. We all know about Jared Kushner's $2 billion kickback from Saudi Arabia shortly after Donald Trump's first term. And the incompetence that these people are displaying is absolutely stunning. And the incompetence of Donald Trump. I mean, sending Jared Kushner and Steve Witoff to negotiate the end of the largest ground war in Europe since World War II. Neither of them have any expertise or experience in dealing with Russia or Vladimir Putin. They're going to get rolled harder than you guys can possibly imagine. And that brings us to Pete Hegseth. I mean, the incompetence of Pete Hegseth, coupled with the overwhelming arrogance and self-confidence of a not even mediocre white man, allegedly an alcoholic, allegedly a rapist, allegedly cheated on every single woman he's ever been married to. He's been married 3 times, allegedly raped a woman while still married to his second wife, while his soon-to-be third wife was pregnant with their first kid. In the middle of that, he allegedly raped a woman, I think in Monterey, California, paid her off and got her to sign a non-disclosure agreement. All of that was known before Trump nominated him to be Secretary of Defense. And now we see his bungled handling of his war crimes, ordering civilians, enemy combatants, nobody knows, in the very first Venezuelan boat strike that he did, double tapped it to kill them specifically and make sure that there were no survivors. That's illegal. That's unlawful. That's a war crime. That's against federal law. It's against international law. It's against the military's own policies and procedures. And initially, he took full credit for it. Then he denied credit. The White House confirmed that he gave the order. Now they're denying that he gave the order. Now Pete Hegseth is trying to throw some admiral under the bus. And I just saw an interview on MSNBC with a guy who's former military, who's still connected to a lot of these communities at higher levels. And you know, a lot of these guys who are currently serving are extremely upset with Pete Hegseth for trying to throw another member of the military under his command under the bus and put responsibility for that second order, that second strike on that guy, on that admiral, rather than take responsibility for an order that he clearly gave. I've never served in the military, but what little I know of the military, commanding officers, senior staffers, higher ups are supposed to take that bullet for people who are under their command. And Pete Hegseth is clearly not doing that. He's just such a blowhard. And I mean, the incompetence oozing from this guy. And then it's like, you know, the whole justification for these strikes is to keep drugs out of the United States. They've not proven that any of these were drug boats or that any of these people were drug traffickers or cartel members. But then just this morning, Trump made it official. He issued a full pardon for the former president of Honduras, who was a member of an incredibly violent cartel that was responsible for smuggling 400 tons of cocaine into the United States, an incredibly violent gang that this guy was a member of. I don't know. I haven't seen any reporting yet on how pardoning this guy benefits Trump personally, because Trump does all of these things in a way that benefits him personally. I've not seen any reporting on how giving a pardon to the former president of Honduras benefits Donald Trump personally, but you know it's gonna. I mean, he's meddling in their election, I guess. I don't know. Does Honduras have oil? Venezuela does. Pretty clearly, Trump wants the oil that's in Venezuela. And so we're about to go to war with them on this pretense of stopping narcotics from coming into the United States, while Donald Trump just issued a pardon to a former president who was responsible for bringing 400 tons of cocaine into the United States. I mean, incompetence and malevolence. Malevolence at every turn, but also incompetence. Kristi Noem, in ignoring the order from a federal judge to not send planes of Venezuelan immigrants, young men, to El Salvador, to Secot prison. She apparently acknowledged over the last few days that she did, in fact, ignore a judge's order. So I expect she's going to be hearing about that from the court. But those men were then sent to that prison and tortured and assaulted and sexually assaulted for 4 months before they were released. You know, because of her incompetence and just general malevolence and dipshittery. Kristi Noem is an idiot. Kristi Noem is a complete idiot. But they occupy these positions that make them very dangerous. I mean, look what she did to those 250 or so young men who she sent to Secot prison, despite a court order, and what they went through in that prison. You know, and Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth have murdered 80 Venezuelans in fishing boats. Those people are dead, blown to hell and back by SEAL Team 6 with either drones or missiles launched from another island somewhere. They are absolute incompetent clowns, but they occupy these positions, which makes them extremely dangerous as well. And they're killing people. They're killing people left and right. Malevolence and incompetence. It's amazing.